If you see these two weapons in front of you, what would your choice be? If you're a hunter or warlock, the choice is pretty simple. Outbreak all day. But if you're a titan, your choice should be the Barrow Dyad. And you're gonna know why in this video. Let's start with the base. How does Barrow and Outbreak work? For Barrow Dyad, we have Panic Response. This weapon generates blight as it deals damage. While not firing, blight depletes and the magazine is gradually refilled. Reload the weapon to convert a stored blight into blight seekers. Pretty much shoot at the boss to charge the gun and reload to deal big damage with the charges. One important tip I should be mentioning, make sure to time the manual reload the moment you see the second pulse charge going off. It will increase your DPS on the Barrow Dyad. For Outbreak, we have the Corruption Spreads. This weapon creates Siva nanite swarms on rapid hits and precision kills, combined with
Parasitism.
This weapon does more damage to enemies based on the number of Siva nanites that attaches to them. In short, get some crits, stack a lot of nanites and deal more damage. Here's a quick showcase how fast you can get the max nanites depending on how many outbreaks you have on your team. I tested one outbreak up to 5 outbreaks at the same time. And here we can see how long it takes to get the max nanites. With 5 outbreaks we only need 11 seconds, with 4 outbreaks we need 14 seconds, with 3 outbreaks we only need 18 seconds, with 2 outbreaks it's 24 seconds, and with 1 outbreak if you are alone that's 45 seconds. For the test we're gonna have surges, a well and a tractor debuff. And also we're gonna have 100 weapons with 100 super as baseline. If we take a look at both weapons, we can see that Outbreak with max nanite stacks deals around 2.4 to 2.5k DPS. Peacekeeper Barrow Dyad on the other side is dealing 2.9k to 3000 DPS. In just raw gunpowder, Barrow Dyad is dealing 20% more DPS, but that's with PKs of course. The go-to setup for Outbreak is combining it with the Curious of the Falling Star exotic, and the goal with Outbreak is to generate super energy to spam those massive Falling Star T-Crashes. Of course we're gonna test both setups with T-Crashes now. So for the next test, I'm gonna DPS for 80 seconds to simulate Kurriger's DPS phase. For Outbreak, we have a DPS of 3373 and a total damage of 255,000. We got 4 supers off and got like 2.5 of the super bar charged. For Barrow Dyad, we have a DPS of 3573 and a total damage of 281,000. We got 5 supers off and got a little bit more than a 1/3 of the super bar charged. With the results, we can see that Barrow is doing more damage compared to an Outbreak setup. And the Outbreak was assuming we're doing max nanite damage from the start, which is not realistic because of the ramp up mechanic. But why is Outbreak doing less damage even though we're getting 4 buffed Curious T-Crashes off, which equates to like 6 normal T-Crashes? If we take a look at the damage distribution, you can see that the Outbreak setup has around 31.7% of the damage coming from T-Crashes, and 68.3% from the Outbreak. For the Barrow, we have 23.8% coming from T-Crashers and 76.2% coming from Barrow Dyad. We can see that on both cases, the weapon will deal majority of the damage than the super. And that's the reason why the Barrow setup outperforms in this case. So, what if we're having better stats? Does it change anything? Since we know that 200 super increases our super damage by 45% and 200 weapons increases our weapon damage by 15%, with that, we can simulate some numbers with better stats. Let's do 3 scenarios. The first one with 200 super only, the second one with 200 weapons only, and the third one with 200 on both. Here are the new results. For the first scenario, Outbreak is doing on paper 292,000 in total damage with a distribution of 40.2% from the super and 59.8% from the weapon. Barrow is doing on the other side 311,000 in total damage with a distribution of 31.2% and a 68.8%. For the second scenario with 200 weapons, Outbreak is doing 281,000 in total damage with a distribution of 28.8% from the super and 71.2% from the weapon. Barrow is doing 313,000 in total damage with a distribution of 21.3% from the super and 78.7% from the weapon. For the third case, we have Outbreak doing 318,000 in total damage with a distribution of 36.9% from the super and 63.1% from the weapon. Barrow, on the other hand, is doing 343,000 total damage with a distribution of 28.2% from the super and 71.8% from the weapon. In all 3 cases, Barrow's setup will outperform the Outbreak. In my opinion, you should use Barrow. The damage difference with a 4-stack Outbreak versus a 5-stack Outbreak is not massive, and the damage gain from using Barrow will offset the 3-second damage loss from the increased stacking time. And the more Titan you have on your team, the more damage you guys will do. Is there a case where you want to use Outbreak over Barrow Dyad on Titan? Well, there is one unique case if you're a team player and it's all about the super regen and damage for your teammates. There is a world if you have, for example, 3 hunters, 1 warlock and 2 titans. It might not be bad to have everybody or at least 4 people on Outbreaks to get the super chaining from the hunters and warlock rolling. But the moment you have less hunters with the orb printer build on your team, it is better to run Barrow Dyad. Warlock, for example, will be able to get 4 supers instead of 3 if everybody's on Outbreak, but it's not extremely important as you can generate another well in less than 30 seconds, even when you are alone on Outbreak. But you will deal less damage because of the stacking time on Outbreak. Appreciate you for watching the video. I want to try to do the solo witness again after seeing Borg opening the floodgates for this season now. So I will be streaming my Solstice armor farm prep and the witness attempts. So if you wanna catch me live, follow me on Twitch. Everything is linked below. And if you wanna know what the Barrow Dyad Titan build is, check out this video right here.